Tell me your name, your age if you're comfortable, your profession, and where you live.
My name is Andres Forero. I'm 44 years old and I live in Cresskill, New Jersey.
Okay. Tell me a piece of music. You're a percussionist.
Drummer.
Drummer.
And percussionist, but
Okay.
we have a percussionist here. Yeah.
Right, okay. Tell me a piece of music, an influence, something that has influenced your creative life greatly.
I would say anything by Bach. Probably the Well-Tempered Clavier was a very early influence for me as a child.
Can you tell me how that translates into what you're working on now? In broad strokes.
Sure. I think that the math and the science behind Bach's music is a great influence on the way I think today musically. And there's so much rhythm to Bach, and Glenn Gould was my favorite interpreter of that music. So,
in performance, tell me what it feels like when things are going extremely well. What does that feel like?
That's a great feeling, and it happens here quite often. We have an incredible band that I'm lucky enough to play with every night.
And where are we?
We're at the Richard Rogers Theater on 46th Street.
And what are we playing?
We're playing Hamilton.
Okay.
So yeah, it feels wonderful. There's this thing where you almost have this out-of-body experience, and it's really a wonderful experience to have.
And then what about in your outside work that you do?
Outside work, I get to work with people like Raul Midon, who's a wonderful guitar player, singer, songwriter, and tons of other projects.
Does the feeling of performance feel different when you're playing your show or when you're playing outside on a job, a gig, a jazz gig, a Latin gig, whatever you're doing? Is there a difference of that actually body experience?
It's a great question, but I think it's linked. It's a very intimate moment. So yeah, it's very linked and can feel very similar.
Okay, so the third question is, what does the world need to know about music?
I'm not sure that I'm the right person to ask that, but in my humble opinion, I think that we need to make room for new voices and for new talent. There's the slight possibility that certain institutions can become stuffy, and like anything else, I think new voices, new blood is something that is wonderful to share these experiences with and to learn from those people, because everyone has a different voice and a different approach, and their interpretation can actually heighten the experience for an originator or in any circumstance. It's great to have fresh blood, I believe.
So that sounds very hopeful for the world.
Well, we need that, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah.
Andres, thank you so much for sharing your creative imperative.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.